Jeff Frequency here on location at the beautiful Dinosaur Park near Pismo Beach, California. Along the cliffs. So today I thought I would do a little release by the ocean. Right now, the release is going to be on the subject of releasing non-loving feelings about people. You may have someone in your life or in your past, or a handful of people, or a list of people, perhaps, that you have unresolved feelings about. There's a little seagull. And it's good to clear the energy just for your own peace of mind, and because it allows your own energy to be more open. And if you withhold love from people or from anything, you have to close your heart to do so. So if you just think about somebody maybe that you had an argument with, or that you had a disagreement with, or you can just feel the energy you have with different people. The people that you have a really good vibration with and good energy with, when you think of them, it just lifts your whole spirit. You feel great joy and appreciation and love for that person. And maybe before you had those feelings for somebody else, a friend perhaps, and for whatever reason something got in the way, and it's not a pure feeling anymore. It's not an uplifting vibration. So, and it's not like you have to, be bed partners with this person or anything. You may never even have to communicate with them again. But when you think of them, why not feel love instead of any kind of resentment or resistance or judgment? Just because it's good for you, it's uplifting to your own being. So we have some people coming by here. I don't know if I'm going to be interrupted or not, but anyway, so for today, if you feel any of those feelings, heavy feelings around somebody, just take a few moments and feel that energy. Let those unresolved feelings merge into your heart frequency. So I'm going to sign off for now because a couple is walking down here, and I'm taking up the pier, a little space here for people to look at the water. So just wanted to share that for now, and I'll see you again soon. Hello again, Jeff Frequency here. I'm going to continue the release on non-loving feelings about people that I started in part 1 at the beach. So that's kind of an introduction if you haven't seen that video yet, you can watch that. It's only about 4 minutes. So basically, we're just going to go in. We're going to take a moment and think about certain people in our life or in our past where we feel we have unresolved feelings. And most of all, we're doing this for ourselves so that we can clear our energy and open our own heart more. Because if we have non-loving feelings towards anyone or anything, we have to close our own heart. And in order to open up to life's abundance and feel the best that we can, and live a happy, peaceful, fulfilling life, we want to keep our energy and frequency as high as possible. So it's really for our own benefit to let go of the past and kind of release the unresolved feelings we have about people that are heavy or cause us any kind of disapproval. You know, it's okay to feel how you feel about anyone or anything, but I've noticed in my own life that at certain times you have different feelings about people, and sometimes perhaps it could have been something recent. Maybe you had an argument with somebody, or just had a disagreement, or you felt like they weren't honoring your what's the word I'm looking for? Or they weren't allowing your perspective or honoring where you were coming from. And perhaps you feel they projected some stuff onto you, or they were unnecessarily abrupt or disallowing of you, or unkind, or, you know, even if you had, you know, uncomfortable feelings about them in any way, it's still going to block your own frequency. When you think of that person, it's going to affect your state of being. So with this release, we can start with just one person. And just bring that person into your mind right now if you want to participate. And welcome up all of the yucky feelings that are there. No matter how small, no matter how big. And while we're doing this, we can remember that we don't have to like their behavior. We don't have to condone their actions. But what we're doing is we're wanting to remember the innocence that is in all people, despite how they sometimes behave that is less than perfectly loving. Because in truth, we're all really doing the best we can from the level of our own consciousness in the moment. And sometimes people get triggered and they act out of their own conditioning, ourselves included. So I guess what we're really doing is we're just allowing ourselves to see beyond that and find love for that person. Feel it so that we can release any built up energy or unresolved feelings we have about them. Because that again helps us. It helps our own energy. It helps make us a more loving person. And as Lester Levinson said once, until we are all loving, we are not free. So let's take a moment here and a couple minutes and find a person that we feel any non-loving feelings about. And just sit in the energy of those feelings for a few minutes. It's not the easiest thing to do, so I commend you. Certain people we feel have caused us harm or hurt. And it's hard to think of them with loving feelings. But first we must feel the unloving feelings before the love can arise again. And if you want to, you can think of more than one person at a time. Or you can go back and forth between people. Whatever feels comfortable for you. Or you could have a circle of people in your mind and just go around in the circle and feel the energy of each person, how you feel about them, and what comes up. In whatever ways you feel any disapproval towards them for not being the way that you would have preferred them to be. I think that we have ideals about people, especially when we really get to like somebody and they disappoint us. They don't live up to our expectations. And I think part of it is being mad that they let us down. But it's hard to be a perfect person in this world with everything going on and with everything you've experienced. Just welcome up any feelings of judgment towards those people. And it's okay to feel however you feel. Let's not disapprove of ourselves for disapproving of them or judging them. You know, it's hard when you want people to be different than they are, and they're not going to do it. They're not going to change for you. And feel the reality of that, and feel whatever feelings are there about that. It doesn't mean you have to be bosom buddies with someone who isn't treating you the way that you know you deserve to be treated. It doesn't mean you even have to communicate with them or have them in your reality. But what we're doing is we're clearing out the energy of the relationship. Because every time you engage with someone, you have a relationship with them. Even if it's just in your mind. And if you feel bad when you're thinking of them, then there's non-loving feelings there. So you can just try and, not dwell on them, push them out of your mind. And that's perfectly fine. But in this release, we're trying to connect to the core innocence of everyone in our lives. Knowing that no matter what transpired, they were always doing the best that they can. And same with ourselves. And we hurt ourselves when we withhold love from people. So let's stop hurting ourselves. So do you have that person in your mind? Just feel how you want them to be different than they are. Or feel the feelings of however your last interaction with them made you feel. Or whatever they did or said that caused you any discomfort. Maybe you feel they didn't honor you. They didn't value your friendship. Maybe you felt really close to them. And something transpired to put some yucky energy in the mix And that doesn't feel very good. Lester also said that you want to love people because they are the way they are, which is unconditional love. So when we're wanting them to be a certain way or to live up to our ideals, or putting conditions on them, well, I have 2 or 3 people in my mind that I'm working on right now. And you can just tell yourself in your mind as well if you feel inspired. That they are only ever doing the best that they can. Right now, it really feels like what we're really looking for is that pure feeling of love. That we feel separate from when we have non-loving feelings about that person. And I think that's what really is what bothers us. And also, if you can get in touch with the pure feelings that you had about the person before whatever transpired that changed your feelings about them, bring that out again. But it's often easier to do that after you feel the unresolved feelings first. And I believe this is what happens in relationships as well. People have been together for a while. They let these non-loving feelings pile up, and instead of feeling them, they suppress them. And it makes it harder and harder to find what they loved about that person when they first met. If you can't get there just yet, that's okay. We just want to allow our heart frequency, our own light to shine into those relationships and release the non-loving feelings. if you feel you can offer forgiveness to them genuinely. It also helps release the energy. I also like Ho'oponopono, if that's how you say it. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. You feel things loosening up a little? Lightening? More allowing? I feel lighter. It's almost like you can get to a place where you just let them off the energetic hook that you're holding them to. In some way, maybe not in an extreme way, we almost crucify people for not living up to our ideals. As soon as they fail us in some way, we want to put them up on a cross and condemn them from our love. And depending on how much we feel they've wronged us, the more it feels like that. Is the frequency back again? We got interrupted at the end of my second video with a phone call that came in and cut my video off. But that's okay. We'll just continue here because we can always release at a deeper level, and perhaps there's other people in your life that you would like to clear the energy with. And another person came to mind since I started doing this, and I'm going to go into the feelings right now. If you want to join me with somebody you feel any non-loving feelings toward, we're just going to welcome them up and dissolve the energy. So allow yourself to feel however you feel about that person. If you feel they've really wronged you, it may take a little longer to let go of the energy. And we're letting it go by going into it. It's a very courageous thing to do. It's very noble as well. And it's a very loving thing to do. For yourself, mostly, and for the other person. and for the whole world, really. When we let go of our non-loving feelings, we bring more love into the world through our own hearts. So I'm just continuing to feel those feelings. All of their unresolved energy. We're just allowing ourselves to sit in the energy, no matter how it feels, no matter how uncomfortable it feels, no matter how painful it even feels. Because eventually, it's going to lift. And the sunshine of our heart can shine more brightly. And we can feel more at peace. And we can have access to more love. And feel lighter and feel freer. And what we're doing again is to try and connect to the innocence of people. I'm back again. Last couple tries got interrupted, but that's okay. It's gotta go with the flow. So let's continue on our release of our non-loving feelings toward people. Since I left you last, I really was starting to feel a lot lighter and more free inside, because I released some denser energies that were trapped in the non-loving feelings that I was carrying around about some people. And this is not like something we do consciously. It's just, things happen in life, and depending on how we respond to them, we may have unresolved feelings about our interactions with people. And if we don't clear that energy, we just basically leave the energy where it was the last time we thought about that person or interacted with them. And why limit our own love by withholding it from other people? So what we're really doing is doing this for ourselves first and foremost, so that we can feel better inside, so our energy can be more open and allow more possibilities in our life that reflect that openness. And as I was saying, when we withhold love from other people, we have to close our own heart to do so. And our heart is our power center. So we want it to be fully operational at all times, as much as possible. Because then we can handle anything that comes up in life with a lot more ease. And it really determines the quality of our experience day to day, you know. I've talked about Lester a lot in some of these videos, and he also said he was the happiest when he was the most loving. And that's how he basically healed his body, was by releasing all of the non-loving feelings that he had been carrying around, that he realized that it had caused problems with his body. And so as he released these repressed energies, these non-loving feelings, his body started to feel better automatically and heal itself. So when we withhold love from other people, if we let that build up over time, it can affect our own physical bodies and our own quality of life. So once you start doing this, you may realize that you have other feelings in there from other people in your past or whatever that you may want to address, you know, just between you and the energy of how you feel about them. And they never even have to know what you're doing. And like I said before, just because you're clearing this energy does not mean that you have to get back into a relationship with someone that you feel didn't respect you or didn't honor you, or it wasn't a healthy relationship for you. So we're doing this for ourselves, again, first and foremost, so we can be a more loving being and increase our heart frequency. So we shouldn't get interrupted in this remaining video, knock on wood. But let's just complete this by bringing up anybody else that you have any unresolved, non-loving feelings about. And I had made a list of a few people that I'm going to do myself. And a couple I've already worked on, and I feel a lot better about them when I think about them. So why not just keep going, you know? Because when you find relief and you find peace, it feels so good to your own being that you just want to go, you want to keep going, you know? Alright, so again, let's get in touch with another person, or maybe that same person that you were working on before, or if you have a few people, or you can put them in a circle, like I was saying in one of the previous videos, and just go around in your mind, and whatever feelings you have about those people, let them come up one by one, and just sit and feel the energy. That's all we're doing here. That's what releasing really is. To me, is that we're just feeling that energy. We're dissolving the energy by going into it, by feeling it, and releasing it. Because what we resist persists, as they say, and our feelings are no different. So even if they're operating subconsciously, you know, because when we're pushing them away, we're resisting them. When we don't want to feel them, we're resisting them. And so all they're really asking for is to be felt, to be allowed, just to let it be okay that we have those feelings without judging ourselves. And it's just a very intimate one-on-one experience with you and yourself and whatever energies that are under the surface that are blocking your own heart frequency from shining at its fullest and its brightest. So this is a very powerful exercise, because once you clear the energy, this non-loving energy, these feelings about people, it can shift your relationships with them, and it can also just allow you more freedom, more peace, be able to access more love in your own heart. And it's just like everything is about a relationship, you know. And the relationships that thrive are those that have the most love, the most allowance, the most appreciation. And we can extend this non-loving release to all areas of our life where we feel we've withheld love, where we've disapproved of things, we've disapproved of ourselves perhaps, situations in our life, and just feel the non-loving feelings about that. But in this case, we started it, we're doing it with people, and if you want to continue on that, or really anything you want to focus on, is perfectly fine. So I'll just take a few more minutes and bring up those feelings, whatever you feel that you want to work on today, or people have let you down, or maybe you had a disagreement with someone, or something in your past where you felt you were hurt by someone, or perhaps something you did to someone you feel caused them hurt, and you've been feeling guilt about it or judging yourself about it. So we're just going to go into those non-loving feelings right now and continue. Okay, so I'm going to focus on a couple of people that I would like to release any residual non-loving feelings with. And I invite you to do the same if you would like to continue. You may find that other people show up in your mind. You can just put them in the love line. Again, we're remembering to connect to the innocence in people. Knowing that whatever they did or that whatever we did that came from non-love was coming from not the true person, not their true heart, but the conditioning that they themselves haven't been able to fully clear on their own. And through the filter of their own belief systems, past experiences, remembering everyone is really doing the best they can from wherever they are on their journey. That in truth, whatever they said or did to you that didn't feel loving, may have not had anything at all to do with you. It could just have been where they were in that moment. Perhaps they had carried frustrations with them during the day and you just happened to show up at an untimely moment and got to experience some of their own unresolved energy that was directed towards you. Which you may have just taken personal, which really had nothing to do with you. And really, however someone sees us has only to do with them. However someone responds to us has mostly to do with them and where they are, and tells you where they are on their journey. So this brings compassion. And it creates a freedom, an allowing freedom, where people can express love to you, they can express non-love to you, and you're still going to be unconditionally loving. And first and foremost to yourself. And of course, this does not mean that you become a punching bag for anyone's frustrations or anger or unresolved energies. You just still have to do what makes your heart happy and what feels good to your body. And choose relationships by what feels allowing to you, what feels loving, what feels accepting. We're just welcoming the feelings and the energy around people where we feel a lack of love, where we feel there's a block, there's some disapproval. Perhaps some anger, perhaps some sadness. Maybe just some judgment because they revealed a part of themselves or aspect of themselves that you didn't like, or that you didn't want, that you think should be different. Like I said before, I think we have these ideals of people, especially people we come to really love and appreciate, and when they don't live up to those expectations, that vision, it can be quite disappointing. So let's just take a moment and just breathe in our own love. And allow our energy to expand. And open our heart wide enough so that it can offer love to everyone. Not just to the people who have been nice to us and kind and loving, but to those who are hurting, and to those who we feel have hurt us. Because they are actually calling for more love, but they don't know how themselves to give. Starting with their own life. If somebody is mean to you, they're just projecting their own non-loving feelings onto you. So I'm going to just let everyone off the hook. Who I feel has ever wronged me or not reflected my worth. Who was ever unkind. Knowing that they were only ever unkind because they weren't able to deal with their own stuff. Because their pain was perhaps too much for them to feel. And they had to express it, and instead of feeling it and releasing it within, they released it in an angry word or a passive-aggressive comment or did something that felt unloving. And let's let ourselves off the hook as well for all the things we think that we did that were unloving or unkind to others and to ourselves. Why should we continue to judge ourselves and others for the past, knowing we're all doing the best we can in the moment? Just going to allow the remnants of those non-loving feelings to burn off, to dissolve. So this is just a reminder to me as well that we can feel how we feel about people when we think of them, when they come into mind, when they come into our experience in one way or another. Even just a mention of their name in a comment on Facebook, for example, or you hear somebody talking about them. You can tell if you have unresolved feelings about someone by how you feel when their name comes up. So, as kind of quote-unquote homework for this release, if things come up and feelings about other people that don't feel free and light, and you don't feel that, you feel your heart starting to close down when someone's name comes up, instead of just trying not to think of them or allowing yourself to get all stirred up and responding in a way that's going to further the non-loving feeling, we can just take a few moments and feel those feelings quietly within, process them, clean out the non-loving feelings, feel freer and feel lighter, and then move on with our day in a more expanded and uplifted state of being. So I think this is going to be my longest release yet, because it's got 4 parts, and if I can, I'll find a way to string them together. And if you feel like you want to replay any of these at a later time and do another round of releasing, if your list is a little longer than you thought, for example, or there's more energy there, feel free. And I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I'm glad that I made this video, because doing these videos, doing these releases on video and on audio sometimes helps me to commit to doing them, and it motivates me. So I appreciate it a lot, because I get a lot of benefit out of it myself. Alright, so I thank you again for hanging in there with me, and hopefully someone's listening, but if not, that's okay. Anyway, thank you again, and I really appreciate doing these releases with you, because I always feel lighter, I always feel freer inside, and I think I'm building a little library on my site, so that people who feel different emotions can find an appropriate release that they can use, and I can also return there myself if I want to release on something that triggers me, and follow along. Plus, I also feel by doing this, it's opening my heart wider, and the energy that I feel when I'm doing these is powerful, and I feel like, my higher self is guiding me to what to say next, because I never plan exactly what I'm going to say, and I may have an idea what I want to do about it, but these are all first runs. I don't make a second take, and I allow myself just to go with the flow of whatever happens, whether it comes out perfect or not. But like I said in an earlier video, I want to continue to be authentic with you, and just keep speaking from my heart as best that I can. Alright, that's good for now. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you again soon.